How's it going, everyone, and welcome to a different Danganronpa stream. And hey, Killer Darkrai, how's it going? And thanks a lot, man. It means a lot when people actually, wish me a happy birthday. But anyways, so as you can probably tell, the menu is a bit different from yesterday. Yesterday we didn't have these two things. Island mode is essentially school mode, but I'm not gonna delve into that just yet because, well, I still haven't finished Danganronpa 2, but this is what we came here for today. It's a light novel. Well, yeah, it's a light novel. It is a light novel written by, well, it just says right there, that amazing light. And hey, Satan, how's it going? Thanks for coming in and out. And thank you. I lost my words there for a second. Anyways, as I was saying, yes, this is what we came here for. For those of you who have watched, oh, sorry, I'm just decreasing the volume and it makes that. So for those of you who have seen it, my Trigger Happy Havoc playthrough, this tells like an alternate story of sorts. And I'm kind of curious because I've been wanting to read this for a while. Yeah, this is amazing music. Danganronpa has good music. I've been wanting to read this for a while because the main character that focuses on is actually one of my favorite characters, and I want to see how much this novel is going to influence my my love for the character. So let's jump into this. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc IF, the Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair. I've already started seeing if everything is alright here. The following novel contains references to characters who appear in the novel. You know, you're breathtaking. Fair enough. Appear in the novel Danganronpa 0, which I haven't read, by the way, but it shouldn't matter all that much, honestly. The character introduction. Makoto Naegi, our protagonist, is a typical high school student with absolutely no remarkable talents or characteristics. He was randomly selected to attend Hope Speak Academy from a pool of other unremarkable students. Yotake Shimaru, he was the head of the public morals committee at his previous high school, a noted college prep school. He is extremely strict toward lazy people and anyone who makes fun of working hard. Byakuya Togami, a member of the family which controls the Togami Corporation, an international mega conglomerate. As the heir to the family business, he was harshly raised to prepare for his duties. Mondo Owada, at one point he led the biggest biker gang in Japan. He's a classic rebel with a heart of gold and has his own strong sense of justice. He also has an undying admiration for his older brother. So these are all characters we have met before in Trigger Happy Havoc. And yeah, that game was good. Leon Kawada. Despite his refusal to practice, he has enough natural talent that pro baseball scouts have already started courting him. Even though he's kind of obnoxious, it's hard to hate him. Speak for yourself. Ifumi Yamada. He has a certain charisma with the fanfiction industry, and is very proud of the following he's cultivated. At a local school festival, he sold over 10,000 copies of his latest creation, a stunning achievement by any measure. And hey BVR, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, and thanks for the happy birthday wishes. I knew you were gonna pop in. I just knew it. Yasuhiro Hagakure. He relies on his own intuition to form his predictions, resulting in an accuracy rate of about 30%. He's been held back a few times. The most, quote-unquote, interesting character in Trigger Happy Havoc. Yasuhiro Hagakure. Sayaka Maizono. She's the lead singer in a world-famous pop group. Though she's the darling of a generation, she's managed to maintain her sweet, down-to-earth nature. Kyoko Kirigiri. She's the only student at the school whose ultimate talent is unknown. She carries an intense beauty, but her past and thoughts are shrouded in mystery. Aoi Asahina. She's a natural-born athlete. Her main focus is swimming, but at her old school she also competed in volleyball, track, and more. She has a smiling, enthusiastic nature that helps keep the others in high spirits. So nothing important. Fair enough. Toko Fukawa. Despite her age, she's already a successful novelist. In actuality, she has a personality disorder that manifests itself as the serial killer known as Genocide Jack. Yeah, we figured that out in Chapter 2. Woo boy. Sakura Ogami. Her father taught her martial arts since she was a little girl, and now she has become the strongest human being on Earth. Celestia Ludenberg. Her polite, petite Lolita appearance belies a haughty temperament and a sharp, caustic tongue. She's a master of deceit, and her face is utterly inscrutable. She is Japanese, in case you were wondering. Junko Enoshima. She's a charismatic model who has graced the covers of the most popular youth fashion magazines. However, her true identity is Chihiro Fujisaki. And hey golly, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. That's damn right. She's very quiet and has extraordinary talent when it comes to computers, and that's all you're gonna get from her. Mukuro Ikusaba. A combat specialist who has mastered handling various weapons. Ever since she was a child, she has had a special interest in mystery stories and is completely engrossed by them. And this girl, ladies and gentlemen, is the main character of Danganronpa IF. I'm gonna enjoy this. I am seriously gonna enjoy this. Let's start. IF Monokuma Theater. So this is Monokuma. Monokuma's monologue. The world is full of ifs. If Adam hadn't tied a knot with Eve, society as we know it never would have been born. The world that everyone lives in is just one outcome among countless ifs, and will continue to be a muddled world overflowing with infinite ifs. If is what's in Mizo, wherever, soup, you know? What lies beyond this point is a scary world filled with iffy stepfathers who abandon their families. A Klein bottle where the inside and the outside are filled with uncertainty. So is Schrodinger's cat. But don't break it, okay? It'd be so expensive that there's no way you'd ever be able to pay me back. But no matter how you look at it, ifs are simply worlds like any other. No matter how hypothetical the story may be, the future is the only thing that's truly foggy. And the past is more solid than a frozen banana. Oh, that's kind of specific, I guess. But it's Monokuma, so you can't change a conclusion that has already happened. Okay, that's sad. Even if you see a world that may have existed, it wouldn't affect the people living in reality. Alright, golly, I'll see you later, man. Enjoy your Fire Emblem. Because if is only if, after all. Even if a parallel world exists where a particular if actually happened, humans cannot cross the boundaries between worlds that easily. No matter how far if goes, it will always be a what-if scenario. Do you really want to see that? You've got some sick interests. Don't you think that's an insult to Makoto and the others after the tragedy they overcame? Hey, I'm doing this for Mukuro, alright? Shut up. Though as far as I'm concerned, I'll still insult them. If you're gonna look at if, I think it's better if you view the outside of the Klein bottle first. It might even be better if you view the ending of a video game called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Try to play it multiple times and spend your free time with Junko and Oshima at least 3 times too. Been there, done that. It may be ideal if you can collect all the items and movies too. Been there, done that. But if you guys have come this far, I'm sure you've already done all that. Still, I'd buy the game if I were you. I'd actually buy at least 2 copies if I were you. If is no longer a word. SMH Golly's message didn't... Really? Okay then. Wow, that is weird. Oh, whatever. Well, am I in Top Chat? Yes, it is, but... Well, they appear in Top Chat. I'd actually buy 2 copies if I were you. The curtain lowers. Okay then. Let's do this. Trigger Happy Havoc, IF, the Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair. What should I do with this? Makoto Naegi was at a loss. Despite his hesitation, his situation was extremely simple and composed of 3 key factors. The first factor was that Makoto was currently locked inside a school. Hope's Peak Academy is a school for the privileged elite, and each student attending possesses ultimate talent. They actually seriously did... What? What are you talking about? Makoto was chosen to attend Hope's Peak Academy by a lottery held to select the ultimate lucky student. When he arrived for his first day of school, he immediately lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he saw all the exits and windows had been sealed shut. The next factor was Monokuma, a mysterious robot bear being operated by the mastermind, and the announcement he made to all the students. "You'll be living your whole life in this academy," he declared. "If you want to leave, then kill someone and become the Blackened." This strange remote-controlled robot was telling Makoto and his fellow Ultimates to start killing each other in exchange for their freedom. They learned that more than one Monokuma exists and that each one contains a bomb to prevent anyone from attacking them. On top of that, Monokuma announced that anyone who attempted to harm him would receive punishment. Monokuma's orders, yep. The third and final factor was the red button that Makoto was currently holding in his hand. That sounds interesting. The words escape button were crudely written on this button in marker. Anyone who's seen the ending of Trigger Happy Havoc remembers exactly what that button is. My refill of water finally arrived. Anyways, and though the first two factors were certainly causes for panic, Makoto only seemed at a loss over the third. During his free time, Makoto noticed that the school store was open, and his curiosity got the better of him. He was overwhelmed by the disjointed atmosphere upon entering, but his attention soon focused on a strange vending machine. The words Mono Mono Machine were written on it, and it seemed to accept the strange bear-patterned coins that they sometimes found inside the school. Oh right, mono coins. Just let me check if everything's alright. Yep. It seemed like a bad idea, but Makoto thought there might be a chance that this machine could dispense some way of escaping the school. And so he inserted the only coin he had into the coin slot, and the result was the escape button mentioned earlier. What the fuck, dude? Okay, I know you're the ultimate lucky student, but Jesus Christ, Makoto, that's bullshit. There's a limit to how much you can tease us. Maybe the mastermind who trapped us in here is making a cruel joke. These thoughts filled Makoto's mind and he began to feel deeply discouraged. However, fun thing. You can, in the original game, Trigger Happy Havoc, you could only get the escape button item after beating the game, which, makes sense, right? You've beaten the game, the guys have fled, you can only get that item then. So this is a thing in which the machine malfunctioned and gave the button in the beginning. Oh, that is interesting. There's always a chance, right? Makoto was just an ordinary boy. Fake luck became real. And he only gained entry to Hope Speak Academy through a lottery to find the ultimate lucky student. Maybe that luck was the real deal. If this button is real, maybe I can let Sayaka... Makoto took a deep, slow breath and pressed the button. Instantly, pain burst through his entire body. Makoto's arms and legs went limp as he lost his balance and fell to the floor in a crumpled heap. As he breathed heavily, it dawned on him what had just happened. I got electrocuted? Wow. He looked down at the button in his hand and noticed a small needle sticking out of it. Makoto quickly surmised that an electric current must have been running through it. Wow. Yikes. After regaining enough of his strength to stand back up, Makoto thought about it once again. I should have known, it was a fake. Just how sick and twisted was the mastermind. Jeez, in this novel, the mastermind isn't pulling any punches. My head still feels a little woozy. I should go back to my room and rest today. Oof, wait a minute. Is this working? This is working, right? Alright, I need to see this from time to time. I apologize if I stop. Alright. With that in mind, Makoto walked out of the school store with slow, careful steps. But Makoto didn't know yet. If the escape button really was a fake, it would have been an act of mercy from the mastermind. A small bear-shaped window began moving around inside the now empty school store. The shadow Monokuma stood before the Mono Mono machine and stared at it silently. But after some time... What? Alright, let me just... You shoot, bruh. Fake looks still fake. The shadow Monokuma stood before the Mono Mono machine and stared at it silently. But after some time had passed, he began to laugh. A cold, hollow laugh utterly devoid of emotion. Despite the fact that he was alone, Monokuma began to laugh, almost as if he was speaking to someone. Perhaps Monokuma was talking directly to the mastermind controlling him. I only put that in the Mono Mono machine because I thought it'd be interesting if one of the last two survivors happened to win it. But with a success rate of 0.000000001%, I never thought anyone would actually win it. Perhaps I should have expected the ultimate lucky student to overcome such impossible odds. Monokuma started blushing and breathing heavily for no apparent reason. A robot like Monokuma doesn't need to breathe, but because his technology is super advanced, he can express himself like a living creature. Makoto was chosen through a lottery, and now he's won the escape button through a lottery. This is obviously impossible, right? Is this what a miracle is? Is this all systems go toward escaping? Is something that defies all common sense about to come crashing into my world? Well, even though I don't really want this at all, I'm starting to enjoy this new sensation. We'll be back after these commercials. Monokuma's internal machinery began running at full capacity, and his facial expressions began changing more smoothly than any humans could. Suddenly his expressions immediately stopped and he whispered through his speakers, "But is this really good luck?" After muttering some... Wait a minute, that's not Monokuma's normal laughter. After muttering something so ominous, Monokuma's loud, screeching laughter rang jarringly throughout the room. The situation that was about to unfold contained two conflicting emotions in equal measure: hope and despair. Alright. The next day, nighttime, student dormitory, Makoto's room. Oh, this is starting off. Ooh. Alright. Makoto Naegi lay on his bed, desperately struggling with the despair and hope churning within him. Onokuma had forced the students to each watch a DVD earlier that day. Oh, here we go. That's the motive, the first motive. Makoto showed a scene that suggested his parents and little sister were in danger, and he now found himself determined to leave the school. It seems the other students were forced to watch shocking videos of their own. Videos so shocking that they were now determined to escape the school too, even if it meant sacrificing someone to do it. However, it was obvious that these videos were part of Monokuma's trap. As long as a student killed someone, they were allowed to graduate and leave the academy. It seemed the mastermind controlling Monokuma was hell-bent on making the students kill each other. But right now, Makoto was most worried about Sayaka Maizono, who seemed to be incredibly distressed after watching her DVD. Sayaka wasn't just the ultimate pop sensation, she was also Makoto's classmate when they were students at Blackroot Junior High. Her optimism had been encouraging Makoto these past few days, and he was becoming a similar source of strength for her as well. If nothing else, I have to at least save Sayaka. As soon as Makoto thought that, he suddenly felt a small headache. Was he still reeling from being punched by Mondo the other day, or was this a side effect of being electrocuted by the escape button? As Makoto pondered these things, the pain slowly subsided, and he returned to his determined thoughts of escape. Anyway, we all need to work together and... At that moment, Makoto realized his goal had changed slightly. We all need to? Ideally, it would be best if everyone survived together. However, aside from Sayaka, Makoto had never met the other students before. He didn't know if they could even be trusted in the first... Makoto, what are you doing? But at that moment, he trusted them without even an ounce of suspicion. He believed they were worth helping even at the cost of his own life. Just like Sayaka. Why? The headache struck again. Oh god. That's not good. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. As if all the blood vessels in his brain were being individually sliced open. Why did I just think that I could trust the others as much as I trust Sayaka? Makoto tried to figure out why his thought process had suddenly changed. Something was wrong. The throbbing pain in his head seemed to synchronize with the strange feeling that something was approaching him. As a ray of light began to form within the dark recess of his own mind, the doorbell rang. Someone's here? He quickly got out of bed, but that only made the headache worse. With no concern for his safety, Makoto carelessly opened the door to his room and came to face with Sayaka. I'm really sorry you came by so late. Sayaka? The pain. What are you doing out so late? The moment he saw her face, the pulsating pain in Makoto's head began accelerating. He felt like his world was being torn apart from the inside out. Oh god. Sorry to bother you, but something really weird just happened in... Makoto? What's wrong? You don't look so well. Sayaka was pale and had been trembling when she came to Makoto's room, but she seemed surprised to see that his complexion was worse than her own. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just my head. Makoto couldn't finish his sentence. His eyes rolled back into his head as he lost consciousness and slowly fell to the floor. You can't trust Sayaka, Raffle. And Sayaka's beautiful voice let out a scream as she stood over Makoto's body. The next day, the nurse's office. Why is Beautiful Days playing? Oh, you're awake. Hey, are you okay? How many fingers am I holding up? As Makoto regained consciousness, he was greeted by the sight of fingers adorned with long fake nails being waved in his face. You're Junko, right? Hey, why do you sound so unsure? I'm a little shocked to hear you say that. Despite what she said, Junko Enoshima, the ultimate fashionista, was laughing as if she found this all very amusing. Oh, we know who that is. Makoto looked around and realized he'd never seen this place before. It looked somewhat like a hospital. 3 beds, including his own, were lined up in the room, with various medical instruments laid around them. The black ceiling felt strangely oppressive, but as he sat up, Makoto's mind immediately centered on one possibility. Where are we? Did we get rescued? Huh, that'd be nice, huh? She replied as she looked away. Junko explained that this was the nurse's office on the first floor of the academy. That Monokuma thing said, I can't bear to see my precious students getting sick, and opened this place up this morning. But don't you think it's suspicious? What if all these meds are poisoned? To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. Makoto remembered his encounter with the escape button and let out a small sigh. So why am I here, Junko? You should thank Sayaka for that. She was here the whole night taking care of you. She was? Junko ignored Makoto's surprise and continued casually talking. But then Taka got all fired up and was like, we should take turns watching over him. I just happened to be on duty when he woke up. Well, even then, only because Byakuya ditched. Oh wow, thanks a lot, Byakuya. To be honest, I don't know what I was expecting from him, honestly, it's Byakuya. I think it would be better if they also showed... Yeah, but, I mean, this is a light novel, right? It's supposed to be read as a book. I can see why they didn't. I see, thanks. Like I said, you should thank Sayaka. Anyway, how are you feeling? Is everything alright? Makoto thought about it for a moment and remembered what he had been thinking about just before he lost consciousness. This is kind of weird, but actually it's a really weird question, but... What's up? Junko, we've never met each other before. Right? Upon hearing this, Junko's eyes widened, but a few seconds later she began to laugh. Huh? Are you for real? That pickup line is like so totally played out, you know? Even though she was grinning, a serious look came over her face. Just so you know, you shouldn't expect anything like that from me. I know I look this way, but I take my virtue pretty seriously. No, I mean, I never expected... Well, that's what I figured. It's obvious that you're a total omega male anyway. Makoto and Junko continued to talk to one another. Although he wondered why Junko was talking to him instead of leaving to get the others, Makoto didn't question it. He just wanted to talk to someone, anyone. As long as he interacted with his fellow students, he believed he would learn the truth about what was going on inside his head. Yellow text. Yep. 10 minutes later, Junko mostly talked about alpha males and omega males, her time being homeless, and about her past and her dreams for the future. Yeah, so this part here, her time being homeless, about her past and her dreams for the future, this is part of the free time events that you get with her. That's why the game was like, oh yeah, you might want to hang out with her. So that's why I'm not surprised. The last topic was a lot heavier than the previous ones, but Makoto's calm demeanor seemed to cheer her up. She smiled sincerely and said softly, Thanks, Makoto. Maybe it was a sign of gratitude for listening to her troubles, but she kept that same smile as she blurted out something horrifying. In return, I promise that if I decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Just don't say scary stuff like that. At least that's what Makoto thought, but the words that came out of his mouth expressed a different sentiment. I see, thanks. But I wouldn't want you to become the Blackened in the first place. For some reason, Makoto felt like the murderous words that came out of Junko's mouth seemed like a natural thing for her to say. Oh, I know what's happening to Makoto. She seemed very surprised by Makoto's response and quickly blurted out, Huh? Are you serious? I was just kidding. Hi, yeah, of course. I know what's happening to Makoto. Sorry for acting so weird. No worries. Let's just chalk this up to you being woozy from your recovery. Yeah, we're talking to, I think this is Mukuro, honestly. But as I was saying, I know what's happening to Makoto, and it's pretty obvious. She returned to her usually bubbly self, let out a big stretch, and returned to Makoto. I'm gonna get going now. Make sure you don't get killed before the next person arrives. After seeing her off, Makoto laid back down in the bed and started thinking to himself, what is this strange feeling? His dull headache continued as his thoughts began to blur. I was just talking to Junko, but I feel like I was talking to someone else. Who is she? The more he thought, the more it felt like his memories were sinking into a thick swamp. Oh god. Each throb of pain pulsing in his head felt like a wave on the surface of that swamp. What are you doing in my swamp? And suddenly we're in Shrek. What is this feeling? It felt very unpleasant, as though someone's voice was screaming at him from inside his head. Oof. Makoto tried to organize his thoughts and go over everything that had happened to him, but he was interrupted by the sound of a bell. Unlike the dorm rooms, the nurse's office didn't have a doorbell. The bell sound that Makoto heard was ringing throughout the entire building. Oh? Ahem, ahem! Testing! Mic check, 1, 2. This is the test of the school broadcast system. It was Monokuma's voice. Now that Makoto has finally woken up, please assemble at the gym. Makoto listened to Monokuma's heartless order and got out of bed without complaining. To go. He walked one step at a time in accordance with the rhythm of his throbbing headache. Slowly he walked forward, not knowing if where he was headed was heaven or hell. Alright, the gym. Why Beautiful Days? This is a killing game! Well, actually no, this is Beautiful Ruin. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Makoto, who is it? Makoto, are you alright? Sayaka ran over to Makoto as soon as he entered the gym. Yeah, thanks. Sorry about yesterday. I guess I really worried you. Please don't apologize. I'm sorry too. I barged into your room when you weren't feeling well. Now that you mention it, said Makoto, what happened yesterday? Sayaka looked away for a brief moment, but immediately turned back, smiled her pop sensation smile, and shook her head. It's nothing. I'll tell you some other time. Huh? Hey, guys, Sayaka is still alive. While they were talking, Kiyotaki Shimaru, the ultimate moral compass, stepped forward, pointing an accusatory finger at Makoto. You're late, Makoto! Explain why you were tardy! The other students collectively raised their eyebrows as if they were thinking, why is this guy yelling at someone who was sick? However, Makoto just smiled gently and answered him honestly. I didn't feel so well, so I was resting in the nurse's office. Can you note that in the daily logbook? I see, so that's consistent with my information. If that's the case, then I shall consider this matter settled. The conversation progressed smoothly, and Taka smiled as he kept talking. Ha 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 ha! I'll take full responsibility for recording it. You just focus on recovering it. If you ever feel ill, please report to the health committee. It seems we'll need to appoint... I was about to say that. What were you about to say? Seems we'll need to appoint health committee members after this meeting, though. Taka walked away, mumbling to himself as he opened a daily logbook he found in the academy's supply room. Celestia Ludenberg, the ultimate gambler, saw the whole conversation and walked up to Makoto. Despite his unreasonable behavior, you knew exactly what to say to him. Huh? As soon as Celeste said that, it dawned on Makoto. It's true that he didn't feel well, that he had been resting in a nurse's office, but when Taka asked him why he was late, even though he should have already known the reason, Makoto didn't feel annoyed or disappointed at all. As if he was expecting Taka to say that. Makoto felt strange that he had accepted Taka's personality so quickly. Can you guys guess what's happening? Come on, it's pretty obvious. Yep. SMH was... Oh, right. But, can you guys guess what's happening? It's pretty obvious at this point. Makoto felt strange that he couldn't understand why he asked Taka to do something as unnecessary as recording it in the daily logbook in the first place. Why did I say that? It's like I was used to it. His response to Taka's demands came as naturally to him as breathing. Why? Every time he tried to think about it, his headache grew even worse. As Makoto struggled to think through the pain of his headaches, a black and white stuffed animal jumped out from behind the gym's podium and began twirling around as it spoke in a cheerful voice. Hey guys, is everyone here? He sounded like he was about to lead the students on a field trip, but not a single one of them had a smile on their faces. He passed out in Mondo's hands to save Chihiro. But, this is pretty obvious what's happening at this point. What is it this time? Are we gonna hijack a cruise ship and run into gigantic worm? Of course, there was one exception. Yasuhiro Hagakure, the ultimate clairvoyant, still believed that the current situation was some kind of planned event. Monokuma just ignored him and continued to address the students with his adorable voice. Yep. Oh god! What did I do? Oh. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Today, I'm going to tell you about our wonderful academy system. System sure does sound like a great word, don't you think? It reeks of danger, just like a bear. I want you all to trample over the depths of your friends and grow up to have hardened hearts. It's good to be a little naughty. I want you all to grow poisonous personalities. After making his nonsensical introduction, Monokuma moved on to the next topic. Yeah. With this, he began providing a detailed explanation of the most vile system in the school, the class trial. Now, you can't just kill someone. You gotta kill someone without anyone else finding out you did it. Monokuma talked about his horrible graduation program with casual indifference. But because a killing hadn't happened yet, his lecture didn't instill any despair in the students. As long as a killing never occurred, there'd be no point to the class trial. Sayaka, I'm looking at you. But no one could really say that a killing wasn't going to happen, and that's the killer. Hold on, is everything alright over on YouTube land? Yes, it is, apparently so, yes. I'm having fun. This is interesting so far. As the students' suspicions began to rise, Monokuma continued explaining the class trial until... Wait, hold on a second. Oh, god damn it. As Monokuma began to explain the executions that would serve as punishment, one girl stepped forward. Wait, oh no, wait. One girl stepped forward. Junko? Why is this theme playing? It reminds me of a certain somebody that I dislike. As soon as he saw how angry she was, the rhythm of Makoto's headache began to change slightly. Oh god! Oh, I know what this is. Oh no! You're freaking insane, you know that! The girl continued to complain angrily. She seemed completely different from the smiling person Makoto saw in the nurse's office. Huh? Was Junko always like that? No, she's different. That's how Junko acts, but... is that person really Junko? Oh, wait, what am I thinking? As Makoto struggled with his headache and confusion, Monokuma and the girl continued to argue. What? Are you saying you're not going to participate in the trial? Only punishment awaits such blasphemy. What? Punishment? I might, I don't know, throw you in a deep, dark, scary prison or something. Different. The strange feeling he felt was now directed at Monokuma. A prison? No, they aren't that kind. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can't say no to that. After this, I'm actually going to record an episode of Danganronpa 2, because I wanted to do the investigation so I can start next week with the class trial. A series of images flashed in Makoto's mind, and at first he thought it was some kind of parade, but he quickly realized that was a mistake. What looked like lights were actually buildings engulfed in flames. The red decorating the scene seemed to have come from human bodies. Oh my Jesus! I know what this is about! Despair. It wasn't confined to the academy or even to Japan. Images of worldwide death and destruction flooded Makoto's brain with every throb of his headache. I've seen this before? Besides the indescribable violence taking place in all his images, there was one thing they had in common. Who are they? They're... rampaging terrorists wearing black and white masks were wreaking havoc in these images. They took everything: money, valuables, lives, families, dignity, the past, the future, and possibly even hope. The masks these terrorists were wearing perfectly resembled the face of the stuffed animal arguing with the student before him. Shut the hell up! Say whatever you want, I'm not gonna be a part of this! Don't be so selfish! You're the one being selfish. Kill whoever you want. It's got nothing to do with me. The evil standing here before me. Who? The evil standing here before me. I'm trembling with fear. I don't know who's saying that. Oh, it's probably Monokuma. But I won't give in to such evil. It's my style to stick it out and resist till the very end. If we really want to get out of here, you'll have to go through me first. Monokuma swung his arms wildly as he charged at the girl with waddling steps. The girl stomped on the self-proclaimed headmaster of the academy with ease. Yeah. Are you enjoying yourself now? Pinned beneath the girl's foot, Monokuma looked up to the girl's cold eyes and calmly asked, Are you? Huh? Violence against Headmaster Monokuma is not allowed. Well, this is playing scene by scene as how it happened in the game. You violated a school regulation. Oh. At that moment, a chill ran down Makoto's spine. She's going to get killed. Monokuma's words sounded very threatening to him. It wasn't a prediction or a guess. It was as if he knew the danger Monokuma posed from the start. Ooh boy. If this continues, Junko's going to... His mind still didn't fully grasp the situation unfolding in front of him. By the time he realized he was about to remember something, he was already running forward. Oh really? Ouch. Junko? The impact of his feet combined with the rhythm of his headache, sending his brain and heart into a panic. No, she's different. She's... I invoke the mighty summon spell! Help to me, godly spirit Gungnir! Monokuma wiggled beneath the girl's foot and let out a scream. At that exact moment, Makoto charged at her and screamed out, Mokuro, watch out! Huh? The girl dressed as Junko Enoshima widened her eyes in shock. Oh my god! Yo, this is awesome! Wow, okay, that's cool. As if to evade the charging Makoto, she jumped back with agility unheard of in a teenage high school girl. And then, right at that moment, countless spears pierced the spot where she had been standing just a split second ago. All the students, including the girl, stared wide-eyed at this sudden turn of events. Spears, too many of them to count, had shot out with blinding speed from mechanisms installed in the floor and walls of the gym. However, Makoto was unable to notice this. Huh? Why did I call Junko Mukuro? Oh, that's interesting. Mukuro? As that thought entered his mind, a sharp, sudden impact struck his side, followed by an intense, deathly pain that ran down his spine and spread throughout his entire body. The spear stabbed into his side and instantly tore his flesh to shreds and shot out of his back, coated in blood and other bodily fluids. Makoto was stabbed? Oh god. At that moment, the black fog that had engulfed Makoto's mind was consumed by death itself. And as his consciousness slowly faded, he remembered everything. Because of the electricity jolt and the chemical compound from the escape button, because of that button that he had found by chance, Makoto Naegi managed to escape. He escaped this hopeless game where he and his fellow students had their memories stolen and were forced to kill each other. Of course, that escape is also what led him to his current life or death predicament. In the end, perhaps he only escaped from one despair to fall into another. But at the same time, his actions had unintended consequences for one person. The girl living a false identity has her beloved little sister, Junko Enoshima, Mukuro Ikusaba, the ultimate soldier, and a member of the ultimate despair. Her past, her future, perhaps even her hope itself, are on the path to despair. Oh god damn it! I hate when this happens. And so the curtain falls on Makoto's story for now. From this point, the story is about a certain girl. A girl who's more pitiful than anyone else in this sealed-off academy. Okay, I'm 100% convinced this is Junko. A new curtain, along with new despair, shall now rise. This is chapter 2, I guess. Huh? Oh god! I'm gonna insert a bookmark here because I don't know how long I'm gonna continue for. Good thing this thing is really useful. But this, oh my god, this is, oh. If I thought the first game was hype when Mukuro was revealed, this is just ridiculous. Huh? Time had certainly stopped for Mukuro Ikusaba. It was as if everything around her had frozen perfectly still. In the past, she was known as the ultimate soldier. She had experienced this feeling before, during her time within the mercenary group Fenrir. In situations where she was surrounded by a hopeless number of enemies within the jungle or in a desert ruin. I'm actually super interested in Mukuro's life in Fenrir, but that's probably left for another day. Oh, water. The charging enemies seemed as though they were frozen in time, which allowed her to claim a decisive victory in all her battles. But this was in the battlefield, so why did this familiar sensation activate once again? In order to understand what had happened, Mukuro slowly tried to assess the current situation from within this frozen world. Junko and Mukuro are both children of despair. Junko Enoshima, the true ultimate despair, harbors a far deeper darkness within her. Though their last names are different, Mukuro is Junko's older sister, connected by the bonds of blood. She cooperated with Junko's hopeless plan, and impersonated her under the pretense of participating in the killing alongside her classmates. According to the plan, Mukuro was supposed to oppose Monokuma, who her sister was controlling, and be locked in a dungeon as punishment. So that's why she went forward. I don't know if this is considered canon in the Danganronpa continuity, but Jesus Christ! So this is why Mukuro went with that ridiculous attack on Monokuma? She didn't know she was gonna get killed. Isolated from the others, she would then escape the dungeon and perform various acts intended to deprive the students of hope. That was the role she had been assigned. When Makoto succumbed to his headache, Junko ordered her to see if the shock had caused him to remember anything that could make him a liability. He woke up as she was tending to him. She made small talk with him, but she didn't notice any change in his behavior. Really? Mukuro, come on, man. Until this point, she was certain that there shouldn't be any problems. Nothing could possibly go wrong. She stomped on Monokuma like her sister ordered her to do, and flawlessly spoke the line she was taught to memorize. Afterwards, she would fall through a trapdoor in the dungeon, and remain isolated from the other students. That was the role. She hadn't done anything wrong. There were no problems. She repeated that to herself over and over like a silent prayer. But in that frozen moment in time, what she saw was not a trapdoor, but countless spears. One of them has skewered Makoto through his side. Why? Makoto? Why are there spears? Gunweir? I would have died if I hadn't moved. Did Junko mess up the plan? No. Junko would never mess up. Is she trying to kill me? Me? Makoto saved me? Why? Why did he say my name? Did his memories come back? Did I not realize that? Did I make a mistake? Is that why Junko got angry? You were dead anyway, Mukuro. It's not your fault. Is this punishment? Is it my fault? Junko tried to kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Oh. Slowly time came back to her world. Zawarudo is over. Mukuro could feel her face turning pale as she slowly looked toward Makoto. The students' screams rang throughout the gym. Sayaka was probably the first one to scream. But who screamed first didn't matter to Mukuro. Makoto. Why? Makoto was the ultimate lucky student. He had been her classmate for the past 2 years, and how he was a sacrifice to despair. Not long ago, he had given her an answer of sorts during their conversation in the nurse's office. He was just a pawn in the plan that her sister had devised, but now a feeling of doubt began forming in Mukuro's mind. What did I want from Makoto? As her heart churned restlessly, she continued to think. In return, I promise that if I decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Was I impersonating Junko then? No. I don't think so anyway. Oh, this is really good. Nah. Or did I really mean that? When did I start feeling this doubt? Just now, the moment he saved me? Or when he spoke in the nurse's office earlier? When I first confronted him about this killing him before his memories returned? Or was it even before that? Mukuro stood there, confused and overwhelmed, and as Makoto slowly opened his eyes, the spear still impaling him through the side. Mukuro? Makoto, are you okay? Mukuro was no longer impersonating the ultimate fashionista. Looking up from the floor of the gym, Makoto asked, "Why are you dressed up like Junko?" He was smiling. Aww. Maybe he couldn't feel the pain anymore, or maybe he was being affected by something else. But regardless, Makoto ignored the fact that he was dying just to give Mukuro his warm smile. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro. As soon as she heard Makoto's weak, fading voice, something inside Mukuro snapped. Oh god, this is getting sad already. From within the shell of despair she had built up, an intense emotion began flowing out. No, this is all wrong! She couldn't hold back that emotion any longer. No. And for the first time in her entire life, Mukuro unleashed and screamed into the world. As Mukuro fell to her knees and clutched her head, a small shadow started walking toward her back. The stuffed animal that had been under her foot, Monokuma. His claws were extended, and he was no longer walking with his usual rattle. Instead, he moved like a beast, silently stalking its prey. He slowly advanced within his target's blind spot. As he inched closer to Mukuro, Monokuma raised his razor-sharp claws, crouched on his haunches, and suddenly leapt toward the back of her neck. Jesus! However, just before those claws could reach the paralyzed Mukuro, a dark shadow moved in from the side and swatted those claws away with one blow. Sakura! It's gotta be Sakura! His lunge deflected, Monokuma was sent flying through the air, spinning wildly before crashing into the wall. Damn you! What are you trying to do? Sakura! No, damn you! What are you trying to do? Sakura Ogami, the ultimate martial artist, had just prevented another tragedy. She stood before Monokuma and addressed him in a loud, booming voice. Not only did you attempt to kill Junko for violating school regulations, you even attacked Makoto, who had nothing to do with this. If you plan to continue acting in such a savage manner, there is no reason for us to play along with your game. Byakuya Togami, the ultimate affluent progeny, smirked condescendingly at Sakura. Oh, everything from the start. One could say you've now violated school regulations with your senseless actions. He looked as if he honestly did not care if his fellow students lived or died at all. Well, she merely deflected the headmaster's attack just now, so I do not think it truly counts as an act of violence. No. Like Byakuya, Celeste seemed unfazed as she chided him over his words. However, the banter between the two was enough to stir the stunned students into action. Makoto! Sayaka was the first one to run toward Makoto, who lay bleeding from his stomach. Monokuma stopped her, shouting in a tone of voice that seemed completely out of character. Be careful! Don't get too close to those two! Huh? Startled by Monokuma's desperate tone, Sayaka and the others stopped moving almost instinctively. What is happening? The students looked around at each other. Instead of his usual playful gait, Monokuma walked toward them with deliberate, methodical steps. And then he suddenly blurted out something that took everyone, including Mukuro Ikusawa, by surprise. I'm sure you're probably confused by this sudden turn of events, but I want you guys to work together. As Mukuro slowly turned her head toward Monokuma, he pointed at her and yelled, Mukuro Ikusawa and her accomplice, Makoto Naegi, are the terrorists responsible for locking you all inside the academy. I don't like this. I see a bad thing. Once again, time stopped for Mukuro, but this time she wasn't the only one affected. Everyone seemed to be frozen in shock. After a few seconds of silence, Aoi Asahina, the ultimate swimming pro, spoke first. Huh? You're kidding, right? I mean, Makoto is a terrorist? That's impossible. And who's Mukuro anyway? I mean, that's Junko. Monokuma began slowly explaining to Aoi. The real Junko must be imprisoned somewhere in this school. Worst case scenario, she might be killed. Mukuro must have researched which one of you would be easiest for her to impersonate and hid among you by pretending to be her. She was probably trying to make sure the killing game went smoothly. Suddenly, Monokuma's hands and feet began jerking in an awkward motion as he looked at the other students and introduced himself. I'm Siki Madrai, the ultimate hacker. Okay, so this guy probably is from this is probably from Danganronpa 0, which I haven't read, unfortunately. I'm your upperclassman. I acted to the academy from the outside, and I was finally able to take control of Monokuma's body just a little while ago. To take control from who? From the head of the terrorist organization that's controlling this robot from the outside. What? What are you saying, Junko? Mukuro trembled as she heard the words coming out of Monokuma's mouth. For a brief moment, she clung out to the hope that her sister wasn't trying to kill her, but as soon as that hope was born, it was immediately consumed by despair. Junko had the power to transform hope into despair. She would never let anyone hack her that easily. There was only one explanation. Junko Enoshima was pretending to be someone named Desiki in order to frame Mukuro and Makoto. It was as though Junko was using Mukuro's survival as a branching path to lead the students to a different despair. Monokuma continued talking, telling the students more lies designed to prod them into action. On your first day at Hope Street Academy, you guys were exposed to sleeping gas, knocked unconscious and taken hostage. Mukuro and Makoto are probably the only operatives that the terrorists sent inside the school. That means they probably know how to escape from here. And then Monokuma turned to face Mukuro. Mukuro Ikusawa was a member of the mercenary group called Fenrir. She was a wanted criminal who's killed over 10 people associated with the school. So don't get soft and think you can capture her alive. In fact, that's exactly what the cops told me. So the moment I saw an opening, I tried hacking the trap they set and tried to kill her. Oh god. But what about Makoto? Monokuma gave a cold, emotionless answer to Sayaka's question. My guess is that a measly little ultimate lucky student didn't stand a chance of defying a group like Fenrir. He was probably threatened and forced to cooperate before he entered the school. Or, judging from his earlier actions, maybe Mukuro seduced him. What? Sayaka's face went pale when she heard that answer, and she immediately stopped talking. Oh god. Mukuro raised her head and shouted, You're wrong! Makoto isn't a terrorist, you all have to believe me! The whole gym fell silent, and then, as if he was speaking for everyone else there, Taka stepped forward and nervously asked, Hold on! What do you mean Makoto isn't a terrorist? It sounds like you're saying that there's no doubt that you, in fact, are a terrorist. I ask that you correct yourself at once and say we are not terrorists. Celeste began expressing her own doubts as well. It is strange. Does it not seem odd that she is so protective of someone we all just met a few days ago? Mukuro stood in silence. The other students' faces began to fill with suspicion and doubt as they realized they weren't looking at the real Junko Enoshima. Byakuya pushed up his glasses and began coldly pointing out what seemed out of place to him. I heard that Fumakoto, or whatever his name is, called you Mukuro instead of Junko. How would Makoto know that your name is really Mukuro if he just met you not that long ago? Ooh. I've also heard of Fenrir, continued Byakuya. As I recall, its members have a tattoo somewhere on their body. Instinctively, Byakuya's words put Mukuro into a calm state of mind. In hostile situations, her defensive reflexes as the ultimate soldier often manifested themselves. Mukuro's tattoo was on the back of her right hand. She wondered how she could hide this from the other students without also calling attention to it, but in the end, this concern was in vain. If the police's reports are true, she should have a tattoo on the back of her right hand. As Monokuma... No, if the police's records are true, she should have a tattoo on the back of her right hand. Alright! Cried Taka, his voice filled with enthusiasm. Show us the back of your right hand, and prove your innocence. Monokuma dispensed another unnecessary remark. Make sure you look real close. She might have covered it up with foundation. Yuko had ordered Mukuro to hide her tattoo with foundation, so Monokuma's information was entirely true. There was nothing Mukuro could do except stay quiet. However, she wasn't staying quiet because her identity was about to be exposed. She was struck by the realization that her sister was completely serious about pinning this on her. Why the hesitation? Shouted the foolishly honest Taka. As my classmate, I have complete faith in you. From behind him, Ifumi Yamada, the ultimate fanfic creator, murmured to himself as cold sweat ran down his cheeks. Well, look at that. I guess this is all what they call a checkmate, huh? Why don't you just fess up already, you fucking bastard? It's Mondo, yep. In contrast to Ifumi, Mondo Owada, the ultimate biker gang leader, was royally pissed. However, there were some students who were busy questioning Monokuma instead of Mukuro. Hey, you're not coming to save us? Shouted Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star. You should hurry up and charge in here already. Monokuma looked at Leon and shook his head softly. The police can't help you right now. Not only are you guys hostages, it's possible that the entire school has been rigged with explosives and poisonous gas. I hacked into this Monokuma robot to investigate that for myself. Then what about everyone on that DVD? What about everyone outside the school? Asked Sayaka. The memory of the DVD she was forced to watch yesterday still weighed heavily on her mind, but Monokuma didn't have a clear answer. I don't know anything about any DVDs, but there are definitely terrorists causing havoc out there. Law enforcement around the world is in shambles trying to deal with this. That's impossible. Sayaka shuddered and collapsed to her knees. Sayaka. Next to her, Chihiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer, wasn't sure about what she would do. Behind her, two other girls stood silently. The first was Toko Fukawa, the ultimate writing prodigy. She seemed to be trying very hard not to look at Makoto as he lay bleeding. The other was a quiet girl who hadn't talked about herself much, named Kyoko Kirigiri. When are you gonna spring into action, you lazy fuck? You're just allowing this to go through, huh? Really? Kyoko, I expected better of you. Unlike Toko, Kyoko was watching everything intently, as if she were studying the scene of a crime. From Makoto's breathing patterns to subtle changes in Mukuro's facial expressions, nothing was escaping her attention. Suddenly, Toko began nervously talking to Sakura. So, anyway, let's just say that Mukuro woman or whoever over there is a terrorist. Hurry up and beat her to death or something. We don't know that yet, said Sakura. My fist is not mete out justice based on simple speculation. Sakura tried to get near Makoto to examine his wounds, but Monokuma stood in her way, shouting, Don't come any closer! This meant that Mukuro was the only one who could get close to Makoto. She had ended countless lives on the battlefield, she knew from experience. If she didn't treat Makoto's wounds, he would die. His wounds were not immediately fatal, but if she continued losing blood, he would eventually slip into shock and die shortly thereafter. Ouch. This is, oh my god, I'm kinda hooked on this, honestly. I'm kinda addicted to this story. This story is awesome. I mean, I know it wasn't like Spike Chunsoft themselves who wrote this, but props to the writer of this. This is amazingly written. Please, you need to treat Makoto first. Absolutely not, said Byakuya, harshly interrupting Mukuro. Tying you up and examining the back of your right hand is our first priority. Hey, Makoto's in danger! Now's not the time for that. No, Makoto's in danger. Now's not the time for that, said Aoi as she cast a worried glance at Makoto. She was still having trouble understanding the situation and hadn't decided if Makoto was suspicious or not. Byakuya was about to snap back at her, but Mukuro's actions stunned him to silence. She took a deep breath and then... Mukuro removed the blonde wig from her head. Wait, that's blonde? I thought that was pink hair. Anyways. Where there were two long blonde pigtails only a moment before, there was now short, black hair. She cleared her face of all emotion, and when she spoke, her voice rang throughout the gym. I'm not Junko Enoshima. My name is Mukuro Ikusaba. The student stared wide-eyed at her open confession. All she did was remove her wig and clear her emotions, but in doing so, the person the students had recognized as Junko Enoshima vanished from their sight. The terrorist that had taken her place continued to speak in a calm, stoic tone. I helped lock everyone else inside this academy. The confession of a seaside cliff moment has finally arrived, Ifumi blurted out. Wigs are against school regulations, Junko. I mean Mukuro, shouted Taka. As if stirred by their cries of excitement, the other students began clamoring among themselves. Huh? So Makoto's wounds are like real? Does that mean that stuff about terrorists and whatever is all real too? So everything that's happened these past few days wasn't a bunch of staged events? As the reality of the situation began dawning on Yasuhiro, all Ian could say to him was, "Shut the hell up!" Yaku just remained calm and addressed Mukuro in a condescending manner. What does your group want? If you were after money, you would have already tried to negotiate with me. Of course, I'd rather let them die than surrender to your ransom demands. Our purpose is to fill the world with despair. Byakuya scoffed at this notion and began to speak once again. I see. Monokuma said something similar, so that ideology is what fuels your terrorism. It's true, if you did anything to me, you would certainly fill the world with despair. But obviously, that would be impossible for you. Aoi couldn't believe what Byakuya was saying and frowned as she muttered, How self-centered can you be? After confirming that Byakuya had no more questions for her, Mukuro looked at Makoto, whose breathing had slowed, and let her voice show some emotion. But Makoto has nothing to do with this. You can't believe what Monokuma says. What did you say, bitch? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a terrorist, just like Monokuma said. Mukuro looked away from Mondo and continued speaking. That's true, but Makoto isn't involved at all. Celeste coldly brushed her objection aside. I do not think trying to protect him will do you any good. After all, we all heard Makoto call you by your real name. That's... She had no words. There was nothing else she could say to protect Makoto. Even though Makoto was truly innocent. Though Mukuro was the ultimate soldier, her powers were largely limited to battle. Even a normal high school student could outwit her when it comes to debate and negotiation. Oh, Mukuro, don't fall now. If she were the ultimate negotiator, she might be able to convince them that their memories had really been erased. But in her current situation, if she tried to bring up their memory loss, they would think that it was a desperate excuse. Even Mukuro knew that. But even if she didn't know what to say, she still knew what to do. Right now, we need to treat Makoto first. And then she started walking towards Makoto as if nothing had happened. To the others, it seemed like Mukuro had decided to abruptly change the subject. Hold it! We will immediately take Makoto to the nurse's office for treatment. However, we must tie you up. No, we must tie you up. This was Sakura's honest demand. But there was no way Mukuro could accept it. If she was separated from Makoto, there'd be no telling what Monokuma would do to him. And between Mondo's hot temper and Byakuya's cold heart, Makoto could easily sustain further injuries under the pretense of interrogation. Furthermore, among these students, Mukuro knew she was the only one who had experienced treating wounds due to her time with Fenrir. After mulling that over, she narrowed her eyes and went silent. Her mind was made up. She was determined to fight her way out of here and escape with Makoto. I apologize, but I need you all to fall asleep right now. As she said that, Sakura instantly positioned herself behind Mukuro. She was completely within her blind spot. To a normal person, it would have seemed like Sakura had suddenly vanished. After moving faster than any human being could see, Sakura's equally fast hands launched a blow toward the back of Mukuro's neck. However... Sorry, Sakura, but I need to get out of here. A fight between the two? Okay. Mukuro parried Sakura's fist with a What? That's crazy! He parried Sakura's fist with a spinning roundhouse kick. Sakura raised an eyebrow at the unexpected counterattack. Mukuro tried to use the momentum of her kick to sweep Sakura's feet from under her. However, Sakura dodged and instinctively struck back against Mukuro's pivot leg. But Mukuro was faster and jumped up, aiming a tornado kick at Sakura's chin. Sakura deflected the attack with one arm, then both combatants leapt backwards, glared and charged simultaneously. Every blow they dealt was parried and countered by the other, and though they were both unharmed, the sound of their battle echoed throughout the gym. Dude, this is awesome! It was like a typhoon had been compressed to the size of a car and set loose inside the gym. The other students were powerless to stop them. All they could do was stare at the breathtaking dents of death unfolding before them. After 10 minutes had passed, the enormous sound of one final impact rang throughout the gym. The two warriors leapt back once again and breathed heavily as they stared at each other down. My mistake. Though it's only been a few days, I cannot believe I did not notice such an impressive fighter was hiding among us. In addition to the surprise Sakura felt, it was as if the battle had left her energized. Mukuro, on the other hand, looked down at her arm, finding he had been wounded during the battle, and thought to herself, she's strong. I don't think Sakura is even taking this seriously right now. Despite being constantly surrounded by firearms, blades, traps, and explosives during her time with Fenrir, this was the first time she had ever been wounded. Mukuro was powerless before the might of the woman known as the ultimate martial artist, and the strongest woman in the world. Just that thought. I can't beat Sakura with my bare hands alone. If she had been directly ordered to kill Sakura, Mukuro would have opted to either snipe her from this distance or poison her. At this close range, she would need an assault rifle just to stand a fighting chance. I don't have time for this. She looked at Makoto and confirmed that his breathing had grown even shallower. I need to hurry. But at that moment, she had no one to turn to for help. Suddenly, Mukuro had an idea. It was true that getting an ally in this situation was impossible. However, she could still turn one person into her enemy's enemy. Mukuro took a deep breath before she charged at Sakura. Then she immediately fainted and charged at a different girl, Toko, who had been cowering in fear from the battle between Sakura and Mukuro in the corner of the gym. Genocide Jack. This is bad. This is bad. Sakura was caught off guard and tried to run after her, but Mukuro was one step ahead and reached Toko first. Why me? I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Mukuro jabbed Toko in her solar plexus, and she fell into her arms. Sakura and Aoi yelled out in shock. This is bad! She plans to use Toko as a hostage! It's Toko! In contrast to their shocked faces, Byakuya just snickered and coldly remarked, "You fool, do we really think we care if you take someone we just met a few days ago as your hostage?" Mukuro just softly glanced at Byakuya and replied, "I didn't meet her a few days ago." "What did you say?" "You met her 2 years ago." Byakuya scowled. Mukuro ignored him and held her bloody arm in front of Toko's face, and then she yelled into her ears, "Wake up, Genocide Jack!" It seemed so random and out of place. Why would Mukuro mention the name of a notorious serial killer right now? The students looked at each other with confusion when suddenly, Toko, who had been groaning in pain, suddenly kicked out of the floor gym and with renowned vigor. She leapt into the air with much higher than any normal human should have been able to. While hovering several meters in midair, Toko twirled faster than a professional figure skater. This caused her skirt to flutter, revealing multiple pairs of sparkling scissors. Countless tally marks were scratched into her legs, like a kill count carved into a fighter jet. If not for this situation, Toko's glamorous jumps and spins would have been a sight to behold. The girl formerly known as Toko Fukawa cackled wildly, a red eye sparkling as her absurdly long tongue flopped out of her mouth. "You called for me, and so I appeared. I've got a murder IOU for YOU." Yeah! Toko? The situation had changed so drastically that even Sayaka was silent until now spoke up. So, a lot of things have changed. Mukuro revealed herself. Sayaka and Leon met Genocide Jack, as well as Chihiro. Whew, this is ridiculous. And everyone is still alive. Well, Makoto is barely alive, but anyways. Hey, you flash in the pan! Don't treat Genocide Jack like that depressing little Four Eyes. That dirty girl doesn't bathe herself at all, so I gotta put in 5 times the effort to rub myself down in the shower. Toko's sudden change of personality sent the students clamoring among themselves. Hey, what the hell does that mean? Monokuma just shook his head. There are some things even I don't understand. The students continued to panic at the strange turn of events. Toko, now calling herself Genocide Jack, took out a set of scissors from under her skirt and snipped them with glee as she looked around the gym. Huh? Man, it's been a while since I got to stretch my legs, so what were you guys gonna do here at the gym while I was snoozing away? Have emoji. Oh, I forgot. I understand, I totally understand. You guys need to cut me up your clothes so you can feel even naughtier. Why, yeah, right. Why the hell would I do that for you dumbasses? My scissors are only meant for cutting the supple, tender flesh of adorable boys. Genocide Jack was causing a ruckus, but when she saw Makoto laying on the floor, she tilted her head once again. Huh? Big Mac, you're like totally about to die. What's the deal? Did the world fill you with so much despair that you all came here to commit mass suicide? That's so hot. Well, why are you starting without me? Toko, get a hold of yourself. Genocide Jack ignored Hao and let her emotions run unchecked, jumping and dancing with excitement as she held her scissors. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. But unfortunately, actually no, I'm gonna try to reach the chapter's end or something like that. Ah geez, I wanted to stab Big Mac's side myself. This spot right here where the ribs are kind of showing already. He's not even screaming right now though. What does that mean? Oh well, maybe I can just get used to this feeling of alienation instead. I have no idea what's going on anymore. This is all the aliens' fault. Seer buried his head into his arms, but no one was paying attention to him. The student's attention was entirely focused on Genocide Jack. Using that to her advantage, Muko began sneaking up over to Makoto. As she cautiously picked him up, she confirmed that his body temperature was starting to decrease. I can still make it there in time. Though she was carrying another person, Mukuro managed to soften the sound of her footsteps as she ran for the gym's doors. By the time the students heard Mukuro open the door, it was already too late. She had managed to escape the gym with Makoto. However, not everyone was aware of what Mukuro was doing. Monokuma saw her movements out of the corner of his eye, but chose not to tell the students. And one other person, Yoko Kirigiri. She saw Mukuro carry Makoto away, but did not inform the others as she watched them leave in the silence. As everyone wrestled with their own personal thoughts and speculations, Hope's Peak Academy began walking a path toward a completely different chaos. Dude, this story is beautiful. And, yeah, unfortunately, I actually don't have more time to do this. It's been fun. It's been a chill stream. It's been exactly what I wanted. It's been really good. It's been exactly what I wanted. A really chill stream. Just enough to make me, you know, appreciate the fact that I have this to read. I'm gonna continue reading this maybe next week because I really want to finish this before I go to uni, because this story is awesome. How can I not like it? This story is amazing. Anyways, as I was saying, it is a special day, as you guys know. And I appreciate all of you that came here to wish me a happy birthday. And yeah, I hope to see you guys, well, this weekend, maybe Sunday there will be a stream, but tomorrow there won't be a stream definitely. So I appreciate all you guys coming here, and, well, there won't be an outro this time because I really have no time to do it. Until next time, peace!